So now let's talk about technology and product development. So here is a great adjective, which is cutting edge. So examples of cutting edge technologies would be OpenAI's LLM. It might also be SpaceX's rocket. So I think it's Falcon X. Don't quote me on that one. But these are examples of cutting edge technologies. So it basically means to be very modern with all of the newest features. So you can see this picture here. So why have I included that? Well, the cutting edge of a blade, or this, I don't even know what that is. I guess it's like a sander, or it's a, I don't know what that is. But anyway, the cutting edge of this tool is the sharp edge of the tool. So it's cutting into the material first. So that's loosely related to being the cutting edge because it's kind of breaking new ground. It's cutting into new areas, new innovations. So that's where it comes from. So another example is Apple are known for releasing cutting edge technology. So I think that was true until about the iPhone 12, when all of the iPhones after that seemed to not be cutting edge because they all seem to be the same. Just my opinion. But yeah, a typical collocation is that cutting edge is used with technology, and essentially it's the sharpest edge on a blade. So just remember that. So the next adjective we have is user friendly. So we often describe a piece of software or a device or an interface as being user friendly. And it's just one which is easy to use and understand. So for example, the advantage of this design is that it's much more user friendly. So again, this is often paired with interface or design. So you can see the lady here. Looks like she's playing with some metaverse goggles or some Oculus goggles, and they're very intuitive or very user friendly. You basically put them on and it's very simple to follow the instructions from there. So we would definitely describe them as user friendly. So the next one is actually an adverb, but there's also an adjective, which is to be seamless. And seamlessly is the adverb. So it basically means without any sudden changes, interruptions, or problems. So in software engineering, we often describe a website as being seamless. So going back to Apple, if you've scrolled through Apple's website, it is seamless. It's like a journey. It's very smooth. It's continuous. And it's a nice user experience. So we could describe that as seamless. So again, I integrated the new software seamlessly into our existing system, ensuring a smooth transition. So here it's talking about how the integration was smooth without any difficulties or disruptions. So we can describe a website as being seamless, but you can also describe processes as being seamless as well. And interestingly, this comes from sewing. So if you have a seamless top or jumper, it means there's no edges and that, it's very smooth. So, if you had a seam in your jumper, you have an edge or a wrinkle or just a little bit of, I don't know, just doesn't look great. And it's kind of not smooth at all. So that's where it comes from, to be seamless. So the next adjective we have is to future-proof. So if a technology is future-proof, then it's designed so that it can be used even if technology changes. So, for example, we are looking to hire professionals who can build future-proof systems. So when you're a software engineer, You want to design future-proof applications, future-proof ETL pipelines, future-proof unit tests. And the reason you want to do that is so that you reduce the amount of work for yourself in the future. So future-proof is very popular in product design. And yeah, all good product managers will design a product which is future-proof. So again, the example just means that the organization is trying to find an individual who can create a system that won't become obsolete. So a good example of a future-proof technology might be... there's not many. A lot of technologies are, in fact, not future-proof. But I guess a technology that's been around for many, many years and hasn't changed at all might just be like a cup. A cup is very future-proof. I don't see that being replaced very easily. Perhaps you could argue Bitcoin is a future-proof technology. Maybe it's difficult to change. These are examples, bad examples of future-proof technologies. So the next one we have is a disruptive technology. Now, a disruptive technology is a new technology that completely changes the way that things are done. So again, I mentioned Bitcoin. It's debatable, but it has changed the financial system a little bit. You could also say Tesla has changed the vehicle industry by disrupting it, by forcing other manufacturers to become electric vehicle producers as well. So an example of a recent disruptive technology is the introduction of ride-sharing apps. So Uber, Bolt, Lyft, all very good apps. So again, this highlights how apps like Uber and Lyft have transformed the transportation industry. They have changed how we think about getting from point A to point B. So this has disrupted the industry, and we could describe it as a disruptive technology. And it's also a noun. So it is a thing, a disruptive technology. So the phrase was first coined by Clayton Christensen, and it basically describes innovations and that change markets radically. So that is a disruptive technology. So within the software engineering sphere, you might say that ChatGPT has been a disruptive technology for developers. You might also say that some of the other models like Bard, you could also say Copilot has been a disruptive technology recently. So these are examples of disruptive technologies. Okay, so next up we have robust. So this refers to a system or software that's effective, reliable, and unlikely to break or fail. So for example, we've built a robust cybersecurity system that will ensure a company's data is protected from cyber attacks. Now, this just means that the company has put measures in place which are effective and can withstand cyber attacks. So again, robust is often used with system or design. So you could say a robust system. So you would argue that banking has to have a very robust system. You have to be able to protect your company's data. You have to protect transactional data, and you have to protect your customer's identity from cyber attacks. Therefore, banking apps, banking systems must be robust. So that is robust. So the next one we have is to tweak. Again, this is a noun, and it's actually a very small change to something, especially to make it correct. So maybe you've received some feedback on your code. You then tweak your code to make it a little bit better. So, for example, feedback from the dev team suggests the system could be improved with just a few tweaks. Again, tweak is often used with settings or code. So you would tweak the configuration file. You might tweak the JSON file. You might tweak the YAML file if you found a small mistake in any of those files. Or it's in a code review session and you get a lot of feedback from your teammates, and then you make small changes or tweaks to the code. So that's a great word that you should definitely be using. And so in this photo, they might be making slight tweaks to their photo or slight tweaks to the setup or the ISO or the aperture settings on the camera. So that's tweak. So another very common adjective to describe code is solid. So this indicates that it's robust, reliable, and well constructed. So again, solid is often used with code, strategy, or design. So you want a solid design on a building because you're going to live in it and it needs to be of good quality. So for example, you might say, I'm happy with the latest software release. I think it has a solid code base. So this expresses that the speaker feels confident about the quality of the code in the software release. You might also say, that class is a solid class. It's called a lot. It's very robust and very solid. So it's quite similar to robust. So this is also a great adjective to describe code.